Listen to me.
I want to tell you something.
Come closer.
Don't be
Upset.
and don't get emotional. Just get near me and pay attention, please.
Look, I know
That you're scared. I know what you're
afraid of.
You mistrust your body. Lately, it has been looking more and more foreign. It's been doing strange
Things.
You suspect that it has been keeping something from you. That knowledge of your own death is already programmed inside it somehow. That it's stored in a primitive
Organ
that in between the
crush of blood
and digestion, your appendix or spleen
sits obliviously
still like an overgrown
traffic
island keeping watch over a terrible
secret.
You worry that this knowledge will arrive
At
your very last moment, not as a
Spiritual revelation accompanied by an overwhelming cascade of sensations.
but as a very public and vulgar.
Betrayal. You're afraid of dying alone.
But you're even more terrified of dying in public.
Look,
It's not
happening
at this very moment. Perhaps not as long as you listen and watch. People don't die in front of their televisions. In the meantime, we could probably do something about it together. I could tell you exactly what to expect. I could
explain using precise words.
and heartbreaking imagery. I could make it feel as far as a
Famine or as close as a
weather report. In the end, you may not even notice the difference.
What's the matter?
It's not as if you've been
Handed a verdict of 5 months to live.
your chance for
Appeals hasn't run out.
no doctor has called you into his office. There are no news of
Terrorist
cells,
operating inside you. No word
of cancerous radicals infiltrating vulnerable
spots
or
sticking in clumps to
the
back of
your throat. Not yet. Maybe
You've
given up smoking already. That was smart, but it may not have saved you.
maybe
You've learned to make an enemy of the sun
to eat unprocessed food, to avoid tall buildings,
and airplanes,
not to
go into
water where sharks have been
known
to attack.
Sometimes on the streets you imagine that you've been given
A gift of
terrible power. That whoever
makes
eye contact with you, whoever you touch, will somehow be contaminated and die within days of crossing your path. You hold your breath and listen to your heart. Will it slow down? Can you will it to stop?
You've
Tried to gain some insight through exposure to second-hand sources. You take out
videotapes,
walk through graveyards.
visit accident sites,
You
stick
to your news sources with a passion,
approaching religion,
even though you always make sure to announce your secular views to anyone who would bother to listen. Still, you check out the church programs on Sunday. You can let your hair down when you're home watching television alone. There's a man reaching in front of the camera, but you're
more interested in the church audience shots.
You love the close-ups, the boredom, the waiting, the generosity of an
Audience
paying and losing attention, the prayers and singing, the
best and
the worst of
belonging,
the natural need
for community.
that you always fight hard to suppress.
But none of this is
Breaking news exactly. There's a world of genuine feeling out there, a world of commitment and action. If you could just
rise above all the junk you've collected.
you're convinced you could
Lead
a more,
meaningful life.
but there's just too much stuff
Happening
all of the time. a prison riot of
things
that need to be calmed, controlled,
contained
and made
useful
again. And so
you begin to recycle. You liquidate things. You start by attacking the things you've collected, separating
them into groups,
organizing them
by subject and history, and turning them back into raw matter and
energy. You recycle
magazines,
newspapers,
receipts,
notebooks, plastic containers, credit cards, statements, cardboard boxes,
calendars,
cans,
contact
lenses, paper bags, telephone bills,
telephone numbers,
traffic,
tickets,
tax returns, personal checks,
records and
tapes, music, CDs,
old winter clothing,
cigarette ashes,
mirrors,
maps, pain-killing
pills, antidepressant,
antibiotics,
loose change,
unstable chairs, dead skin, hair,
underwear,
fingernails, buttons, knife plates,
jackets,
Q-tips,
watches, Walkmen,
soft
drink
bottles,
favorite
books and family photographs, gifts from
friends,
and bygone lovers, passports, letters,
keys,
hats, plants, postcards, wallets,
faxes,
glasses, travel mementos, driver's licenses,
shoes,
toys, birthday cards,
homemade
movies,
household
appliances,
notes, numbers,
opinions,
stories,
pictures,
passions, people, and places.
You recycle
Anything
older than a day.
Anything that carries a history is dangerous. You want to erode the grip of the past. Anything beyond your control is a threat.
Anything
You
might have described
yourself with. Anything that could challenge the present.
anything
that
Might actually say something different about who you might have been and what you've become. And so you watch and you listen.
you live and you learn. You read videotapes. You watch documentaries.
You filter out information. You use your remote control. You think of your parents. You
Recycle
you visit
accident sites.
This is CNN.
listen
to
me.
There's a few more things that you need to hear. Don't talk. Don't move. Don't even
React
Actually, don't do anything
at
all. Just get near me already.
you hypocritical opportunist, fake, phony, con artist, sell out, lip serving, limousine, liberal,
White chicken shit.
motherfucker.
what's the matter.
Have I hurt?
Your feelings already.
Can't you speak?
Can't you say anything?
Have you lost your voice all
Of a sudden, maybe you never had anything to say to begin with.
Has that occurred to you? Well,
Let me tell you something.
you are shallow and weak. You are
Constantly criticizing
everything, but the truth is you
have
Never
produced
anything
of enduring,
significance.
and now you're finding out just
How inconsequential your opinions have
been all
along.
you're probably
laughing.
right now, but deep down inside you know it's not.
Funny.
Are you even hearing
Me.
Or are you so full of yourself that you imagine you can keep pandering to your multiple insecurities forever? You are so hypocritical, self-absorbed, and pathetic that I wonder sometimes just
How
much
it takes
to move you.
God damn it.
You love to complain about me in public, but guess who you run to at the first sign of
Trouble. God.
You make me sick. As a matter of fact,
You've
become so
cynical
that it is
Difficult for you to
believe in
anything
without immediately needing to find its potential for destabilization.
Why?
Is anxiety making you do this? Are you so worried about getting old, about seeming young, being yesterday's news,
Scrambling to
keep up, but always hopelessly out of touch? There is such a
wide gulf
between your self-perception and actions that not even you can keep the contradiction from
collapsing. Let
alone can you sell it to others. Do not tell me how this is typical of your
generation.
and definitely don't blame this on your parents. The high moment of irony is now officially over. So why don't you go get a drink or
Whatever
it is that you do when you're trying to convince yourself that you're
Thinking.